So is it just me, or does it feel like the gaming industry is finally, and I mean finally, waking up from its multi-billion-dollar hangover? You have Xbox closing studios. Supposedly, I just read this today, or I watched it today on Destin's YouTube channel, that Bungie is supposedly cutting their dev team down by 50%. They're cutting it in half. And I think all these are great things. Look, when studios are closed, there is this kind of mass hysteria, right? The automatic response from a lot of people is panic and anger and doom and gloom. But today, I want to kind of argue the exact opposite. I think these cuts are actually a very good thing. They're better than good. They're actually necessary. The industry has spent years over investing, having bloated giant budgets, no return on their investment, and they let these corporate ideologically driven messages and teams make their way into video games that players don't want to buy. So today we're going to talk about why trimming the fat off the gaming industry is exactly what gaming needs to save itself from itself, basically. So first, let's look at the corporate side of this, because the suits brought this entirely on themselves during the massive pandemic tech boom where everybody was signing up to play video games. Like Game Pass exploded. I'm pretty sure PlayStation Plus exploded. Publishers went on a very reckless and short-sighted spending spree. And I'll be honest, like when Xbox bought mainly Activision, Blizzard, I was like, oh, this is a good thing. I'm an Xbox fan, from the 360 days. I thought it was a good thing, but the more I think about it, it was just reaching way too much. But even Sony, all these companies were buying up studios, everything in sight. There was inflated valuations on all these companies. Sony definitely overpaid for Bungie. I think they paid like $2 or $3 billion for it, assuming that this easy money that was rolling in during the pandemic would last forever. Okay, I'm reading right here. Sony actually bought Bungie for $3.6 billion, and that was in 2022. And they did this. They wanted to buy their way into the live service craze, which was a craze, and hopefully it's kind of dying out. Now, Destiny 2 support is being pulled. I think it's winding down. I don't know if the last expansion or whatever has come out yet. I think it has, but they're kind of winding that game down into maintenance mode. And Marathon is just a colossal fuck up, and they pulled a bunch of people off of Destiny 2, and they put it on a dying, sinking ship in Marathon, and it can't even keep its players. And Sony is left looking at, I'm pretty sure it was like around an 800 person studio that they completely overpaid for. And cutting and closing these bloated structures isn't killing creativity, like a lot of people say. It's a massive, long overdue market correction. That's really what it is. The money printing era is over, and the reality is starting to hit these studios and publishers and Xbox and even Nintendo a little bit. All these, and Sony, it's hitting them hard. They have to earn the money back. They have to earn the customers back now. But it's not just completely a budget issue. It's about what bloated budgets are actually being spent on. For, I don't know, at least the past several years, a lot of the AAA studio giants have let creative direction be hijacked by corporate approved woke consulting checklists like Sweet Baby Inc., rather than focusing on building addictive gameplay loops and deep organic storytelling and an awesome lore that you just want to read about. No, they're not doing that anymore, most studios. And when you build a game around checking identity boxes and lecturing your consumer base to death instead of giving them an escape, people simply just, they're not going to buy it. Nobody wants to be lectured while they're playing a video game. Nobody wants to be lectured while they're watching a movie. High profile flops have proven time and again that the social media echo chamber doesn't purchase $70 video games. It just doesn't. And there's going to be people in my comments crying that how wrong I am and I'm such a shill and I'm this MAGA red pill, but you ain't buying the games. Who's buying these games? The studios getting cut are often the ones that forget what their core audience was or who their core audience was. Getting people out of the industry who care more about modern real world politics than making great, fun, addictive, cool new games is a win. It's an absolute win for the medium in the long term. I want more cuts. I want more people bagging groceries at Meijer and more people putting the fries in the bag at McDonald's. The truth is, this industry that we all love has gotten so freaking lazy. They thought they could put out mediocre corporate vetted live service trash or games like Mixtape, which are like these episodes of TV that you barely even play and people would just pay for it forever. No. When the budgets hit $200 million or more, studios get terrified of taking risks. They make safe, sanitized corporate by committee games that feel completely soulless. And that's not the type of games that people are going to buy up en masse. Look at what actually succeeds when you strip away the corporate bloat. Pure, unapologetically fun or challenging or cool games that give fans exactly what they want without trying to educate them. I always think about like Elden Ring, which is still like the best game I've played in like the past like 10 years or Red Dead 2. And these cuts are forcing a return to a merit-based market. Thank the Lord. You have to know how to make a game that people want to buy. You have to be tapped in to your consumer base, because if you don't, your studio is not going to survive. It is survival of the fittest, and thank God the weak are getting cold right now, and that's exactly how it should be. Always, for everything. I don't care what it is, from government to video games to sports. Look, I know what I'm supposed to say. At the end of the day, I'm not going to celebrate people losing their livelihoods, right? That's what I'm supposed to say, but I don't care. You signed up for this job and you didn't deliver. If I go to McDonald's and I don't know how to put the fries in the bag, they're going to kick me out the door. Okay? If you don't know how to make a game people are going to buy, you should be fired, and you should probably rethink about how you want to stay in this industry or maybe go and do something else with your life. I'm glad the industry is finally trimming the fat. I think Xbox has closed Ninja Theory. Thank God. I liked Hellblade. I thought Hellblade 2 was supposed to be like a bigger version of Hellblade. It was just more of the same. I think they're closing Obsidian. The people who did Avowed, I think they're closing that studio, or there's a rumor they're closing that studio. Keep it rolling, Xbox. Trim this fat. Don't be scared you're going to have to cut a lot of these teams because they're just not delivering. I don't care what anybody says. They're not delivering video games that we want to play. Something in my eye. Look, the era of these bloated, preachy, $300 million corporate live service experiment games are dying. And the studios that remain are going to have to go back to basics. Oh, another game that I think is going to flop is like Naughty Dog's new game. I think there's a reason why they didn't show it at the State of Play. And I think it's because they know that people hate it and it's getting like mass downvoted. But anyways, yeah, the studios that remain are going to have to go back to making basic video games. That doesn't mean basic graphics or whatever, basic mechanics, but back to basics, making games that are fun to play. Look, I want to know, am I completely off base? Or are you guys kind of relieved to see the industry finally kind of resetting itself? Do you think the Bungie situation is a sign of a healthier future, where Xbox cutting all these teams down and closing these studios? Or is like this permanent, or is this AAA space that takes up so much of the industry, or is it permanently broken? Jeez, my brain. Learn how to talk. Let me know in the comments. And if you like these, my takes on, and if you have something to add to the conversation, feel free to leave it in the comments. You guys know my door is always open for these fun topics that we can get into. And don't forget to be yourselves. God bless.